We're very lucky to have extremely effective nonprofits in our community. They operate with the highest integrity, doing the most good to meet the needs of residents today and of generations to come. Along with our family of donors, the Community Foundation is proud of their exemplary work. We are pleased to offer them numerous opportunities to help further their mission.
I'd say without a doubt, Bruce Orchestra has been the most important thing that the orchestra's done in its 90-year history. When we lost the Paramount Theater and we didn't know if we were going to be in existence, we didn't know if we were going to have a symphony season. Without a place to put 82 musicians, we weren't going to operate. And we were waiting for Sinclair Auditorium to come online, and we had a great series planned there. But the first concert that we had planned of that season was Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, and it was too large to take to Sinclair. And being the first concert of the season, the first concert post-flood, we really didn't want to change that programming, especially with that great Ode to Joy chorus at the end. And thanks to the support of funders, such as the Community Foundation, we were able to produce that concert at Bruce Moore. Very expensive production. We built a concert hall outside. We had to bring in the staging, bring in the lights, bring in the sound, bring the orchestra out there, set the grounds in auditorium seating, and we were there that night. The concert went on. By the time we got to the end of it, chorus of 200 singing Ode to Joy, you looked out into the audience and there was just tears. Tears that seemed to say, we're going to be okay. We survived, we're going to rebuild, we're going to rebuild stronger. And it was a very positive message for the community, and it's directly tied to the support we get from the Community Foundation.
There are so many things that I could talk about in terms of what I believe that the Foundation has done for Waypoint, and more importantly for our clients over the years. But one of the real important moments, I know for me personally and for the agency, besides getting the Momentum grant for the first time, was another time when we were really tossing around the idea of having a staff person at the Madge Phillips Center shelter to follow clients for an extended period of time after they left shelter to help ensure the sustainability of their lives post-shelter. And there were no government monies for that, and so we determined that if we could fund it both through our own money and with some help for the foundation, we could kind of test pilot it. So I kind of call it as our venture capital money, if you will. And the foundation listened to our request, liked our idea, and we worked with the staff to kind of tweak that and develop it, and we have had enormous success with that position. We now fully fund that with mostly our own donor dollars, and we're seeing tremendous success for our clients, which is the most important in terms of them knowing that they've got a support person in place as they're moving forward with their lives. And so we have a lot of happy endings, and it really started with the Greater Cedar Rapids Foundation.
A community foundation like the Greater Cedar Rapids Community Foundation the existence of that gives you an opportunity as a not-for-profit community to really explore what are the greatest needs that our community has, not only in the short term but in the long term. And you can explore that in a joint way. And an example would be capacity building for not-for-profits, whether they be the smallest or the largest. One of the greatest challenges a not-for-profit entity has today is creating enough capacity to not only deliver programs, but to sustain themselves and make sure that they're here for the long term, making a difference in people's lives. And you can't do that effectively just by yourself. It has to be done through some kind of a joint community effort, and the Community Foundation is exactly the organization that can help make that happen.
One of the barriers to creating endowments that I hear all the time is that nonprofits say we can hardly find money to keep going. And that was our case also when we began the endowment. The time to start is now. No matter how tight your budget is, when you create an endowment, you are making a statement that this organization is here forever, that it's important, it's here forever, and that we are investing in the future of meeting the needs of people. So that is very vitally important. Our endowment has about $2 million in it now, and we never had a major donor. It came from hundreds of small contributions that came here and were very meticulously, through a lot of discipline, put into the endowment rather than diverted for immediate needs.
I can't imagine my job without the Greater Cedar Rapids Community Foundation. I mean, even for a single, relatively small organization like us, I work with the foundation on so many fronts, and you know, I think it's there's so many things that we're so lucky to have a local foundation like this. You know, whether it's our ability to turn to corporate and donor-advised funds to sponsor some of our theater programs, to turn to the community fund to grow a program, or to the Momentum Fund to really take it to the next level. Post-flood, to be able to turn to the Flood Fund and help us build, get equipment to build TCR Lindale and kind of sustain ourselves. So, yeah, I really can't imagine life without the foundation because it makes so many things possible. We have grown our Spotlight on Kids program, our education program in general. Many of our show sponsors come through corporate donor-advised funds through the foundation. Our building corporation, which has its own foundation board in the last year or two, has seeded an endowment at the foundation, which is being managed at the foundation. I mean, just talk about a good neighbor, a good friend, a good mentor, a good supporter, a good benefactor. All of these things we find in the foundation. And then so many of our peers agree with us that I think that's why we often find our sponsors, our corporate donor-advised funds at the Greater Cedar Rapids Community Foundation.
The Community Foundation has done so much more for Kids First than just funding, because you know, when I started, I had this idea that I wanted to provide child advocacy for kids in the middle of divorce cases. But the staff at the Community Foundation helped me build an organization. You know, they helped teach me how to form a board of directors and how I needed to do the articles of incorporation and the bylaws and all of those kinds of things. And it's really that organizational support that also is so critical.